Hi Niall, this is Aood CA2 with Sean O'Neill and Cormac Matthews. I'm just going to run you through about half the files in our code, and then Cormac will run you through the other half. This is our main app. It's relatively simple. It just pretty much displays a menu. It has a few variables in it, like our number of threads and the delay in milliseconds. And this is where we display our welcome menu, welcome you to the XML downloader. And then the number of threads by default is 20. The delay in milliseconds is by default 5 minutes. That was just kind of as a test. I know you said 4 hours in the specification, but we just chose 5 minutes because it's more of a practical time. Here we create our timer, and we create our XML thread task and our scheduled XML thread task. Then we have our switch statement, which is our menu. This calls info utility, which has our menus stored and displays main menu, and then it takes in your choice. It uses the input int, which is our validation method, to make sure that it's valid input, and if the input is valid, then we head into the switch statement further. The download menu is the menu that you want to use if you want to download something, and then we have our run, which starts the downloads. Then when it's finished downloading the XML on the page, then you can hit any key to stop it, which kills the timer, kills the threads, and just carries on. Whereas if you don't hit any key to stop, it'll wait for the timer to elapse and then re-download again. Choice 2 is the info utility.change thread is what it calls, and that's the change thread menu, which allows you to change the number of threads that you want to download with. Choice 3 is, we have it not implemented at the moment. It says sorry, the function is not in service in a CISO, and that is the change website URL that you want to download from. And the reason we didn't implement that was we were running into a lot of problems, and we ended up running out of time in the end. Choice 4 is the change update frequency menu, which allows you to change the delay in milliseconds for the timer. And choice 5 is to exit the program. The info utility stores our menus. It has the file generated menu, which is displayed when you're downloading the XML files. Well, so after you've downloaded them and when you're when you're actually saving them to disk. The main menu, the change update menu, the change thread menu, the download menu, and then our validator method, which takes the range, the minimum and the maximum value in integers, and that's the valid range. It takes a string user, which is the output that's given to the user, the prompt for valid input, and then the string error, which is the error message that's displayed if your input is incorrect or invalid. We have a do while loop, which carries on so long as it's not a valid number. And then we have our first while loop here is just to check that it's an integer. If the user enters a non-integer character, then it just tells you that's not an integer, please re-enter it. Then we have the if statement here, and that is just to check that it's in the range. If it's not in the range, then it displays it's not in the range of the minimum and the maximum values, and just it loops back around for you to try again. The regex utility class is the exact same as you've given us, except for the very last function, which we've called findAll, and it's different in the fact it's just a regular findAll. It just finds all instances that match the regex string in the source string, but once it's done there, it adds our prepend and our whitespace replacers. So the prepend is just added to the front of the string to make it a proper URL. So that's just add www.semo ... and then the whitespace replacer replaces all instances of whitespace in the URL with %20. So that makes it a proper URL with no spaces. The rest of the utility files, such as date utility, HTTP utility, and string utility, are all just files that you've handed out either via email or over Moodle. And that's it for my first part, and I'm going to pass you over to Cormac now.
Hello Niall, this is Cormac and this is the second part of the code. First off, we have the XML link store, which store a array list of string, which we are used to get all the XML links from the website from. So store, here we have two constructors, a basic one and then another one. We have add store, remove, and then we have send to thread, which will once we get the XML thing, we'll send it to the XML thread, and then we'll remove it from this list because we do not need it anymore. Get link is just return the link, and print links to print out all the links. Okay, now schedule task. We extend it to the utility timer task, which is used to restart the thing over a certain amount of time. It taking XML thread task, which we store in the main app, then it will run it and then ask for task to execute itself. Then it will move on to XML task. XML task taking the HTTP XML links that we saw there, thread manager, string URL, string regex, string prepend, number of thread, and delay in millisecond timer, and a boolean and subgroup. This is the basic one, with just taking a timer and set all these to the default value, which was the default website to give us. If a person wants to change it, then they can change it to the constructor one. These are all just getter and setters here, which are used in the main app to change the number of thread and the time. Execute go to what is boolean is not, it do work, and then add to timer, and then we set it when we want to stop the task. We just set it to true. Add to timer, it will be used for restarting the thing. So it create a new thread task, which create a new thread. It create a new scheduled task. Will create a new thread task, which taking all the value, as you can see here, from the other constructor. We then have do work. Do work tell you the task progression, currently downloading URL using number thing. It will then download the URL and create a thread in the manager, thread manager, and find all with the same thing in the regex utility. It will then use the start function, the join count, and remove all function from the manager task. So we'll look at XML thread, just taking a name and XML link thing, array list, and count, and a boolean. So it asks for the thread name and the list. It will then, here we have run. So while it's not equal true, it will do all this. So it'll be waiting. So if get link is empty, it wait till a free link. Then we download the XML sent to thread. If the XML data is equal to null, then it should come out with an XML error. If not, then it will come here and say thread name is downloading, and it also have my data stream, which you give us, and that will do an XML file thread name and output it to the file that we have. This is an open thing to open it, and then write the data to it, and then close it, and then count plus us, and then we have it so that the thread will say it ended. And return to count, just return the count, and finish this whole thing. Okay, thread manager. Thread manager taking an array list of the thread XML thread that we just saw. This is a constructor, and here's another one. Add thread, remove thread, which just remove it from the list that I just did. just remove everything. Once we have the whole thing done, it will do that. Starting thread just started by starting each thread one by one. Create thread, which we saw in task, just create a new thread and add it to the list. Join and count, join other threads together and tally up the count. If there's an error, it will come out with an error message. This is used once all threads are done, so we can tell you how many XML files have been created. And then stop, just pretty much stop it and tell you that the job is completed and the number of files created, generated at a certain pathway. And that's pretty much us done talking about the code. We will now demo the code out now.
Hi Niall, this is Sean O'Neill here, just doing the demo of our code, of mine and Cormac's code for CA2. We have our menu here. It says welcome to the XML downloader, and then it just outputs in the main menu. It says please make your selection. We're just going to download now, and that initializes the download, and it usually takes a while, so we might just pause the video and turn it back on once it's done. Okay, so it's just finished downloading there now. It just says all threads are stopped here, and then it outputs that the job was completed and 20 XML files were created, and then it completed downloading. And it says it's restarting the task, so that'll restart once the timer elapses, or we can hit any key to stop. And then it says the repeat process was stopped, and it just loops back around to the main menu. And now our code, once you download once, it won't download a second time. So, like to change the number of threads or to change the update frequency, we're gonna have to just terminate our code and then just run it again. But we'll do that again and just display the difference now. So I'll do the change number of threads. I'll enter in 10 threads this time, and then download again. You can see here the number of threads that are being used is 10. Okay, so that's just finished downloading now with 10 threads as opposed to 20. And then it just says that the job was completed and the 20 XML files were created. And then once again it tries to loop back around, but I'm just going to kill the timer, and it loops back around to the main menu. And then I'll just exit the program. It terminates, and then I'll run it again for the change update frequency example. So change update frequency is 4, and the milliseconds I want to enter, I'll say 14,400, because that's 14.4 seconds. Well, it's actually less, but in or around that. And then I'll initiate the download again, and I'll probably just pause it again. And now that's just finished downloading there, so it should restart the download any second now. That's just due to the timer, and there we go. It's attempted to re-download the files now, but it's encountering the latency problems that we've been having. And that's that download done, due to the timer elapsing, and it's just started again there. So that's the demo of our code. I do believe we've covered everything, and thank you for your time.